Brought to you by every damn cheesesteak joint in Philadelphia. This is the Philadelphia Sports Porch with your hosts, the Grand Schwalbini and Rube. Come on, Philly. Show us a little Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, and Sixers love. The Philadelphia Sports Porch starts now.
Well, what do you think, Rube?
I think it's great. I think there's I give it a B plus, because I'd like a better picture of me.
Yeah, and me as well, for sure.
But we're so vain. But we appreciate you, TD. If you're listening, thank you for the new intro. I'm fired up and ready to roll. How you doing, Mr. Schwab?
I'm doing well. First, just want to thank everybody for joining us. If you are on X at Philly Porch, remember to click follow to follow us. If you are on YouTube, it's at Philadelphia Sports Porch. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We drop this show into a podcast, usually the later tonight or early tomorrow morning. You can check out the podcast if you want to listen. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere where you get your podcasts. So we are very excited to be here on Super Bowl week. And being that it's Super Bowl week, and like most weeks, I think we're generally going to start with the Philadelphia Eagles discussion. And Rob, it took a little while, but eventually the Philadelphia Eagles went with Sean Mannion to be the new offensive coordinator. I believe he's 33 or 34 years old. He has spent some time, with the Green Bay Packers, giving his tutelage to Jordan Love and their backup, Malik Willis. But really, has never called plays. Is very raw, shall we say, only 2 years coaching experience. What do you make of this hire?
Well, I actually think I like it. I think I like it from the perspective of more so the takeaway from Green Bay quarterback play in their offense this year, number one. Number two, you can't find anyone to say a bad word about him, and that the Eagles are super lucky to get such a good, young, talented guy. Right. And number three is the way the Eagles have been successful, let's just call it in the past quarter century, right? Since 2000, is we take a swing every now and again. We took a swing with Andy Reid. We took a swing with Sirianni. We took a swing with Peterson, and for the most part, they've worked out. And I'm going to make the assumption that Mr. Lurie and Howie had something to say about this, and it wasn't just all Nick's, hey, I want this guy. So if those guys are involved in making the call and they took their time and they did it right, I'm actually I'm kind of excited about it. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I think why not take a swing at it? And I'm a little bit more nervous around what pieces he's going to have to work with come the preseason, come the end of the summer.
Right, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, look, I think I'm kind of where you are as well. He seems to be a hot guy on the rise. I listened to him talk. He was sort of talking about what it takes to be successful at the quarterback position, and he really sounded like he can command a room and he knows what he's talking about, and that you would certainly be able to learn from him, right? And I think that's where being a backup quarterback really helps. A lot of coaches come from being a backup quarterback. And if you think about it, when you're a backup quarterback, what that pretty much means is you don't have the raw talent, the raw skill to be like a first or a second round pick. You're somebody who got drafted somewhere between rounds like 3 and 7, essentially because of your brain, because you knew how to process information, you knew how to lead, and therefore you played really well in college. But then when you got to the pros, you just didn't have the skill set to really make it as a full time starter. So I think that that can help you a lot in terms of bridging the gap with a lack of play calling. Um, so look, I am looking forward to it. I mean, I think it's a better hire to me than sort of like a recycle.
Nagy.
Yeah, like Nagy. It's kind of like a recycled OC, right?
Hmm.
Like when you think of Nagy as a play caller, like you don't really feel like he's anything special, right? You feel like, okay, he became the OC in Kansas City, and he was not as good as Eric Bieniemy was, right? Um, is that really because the OC is not really doing much down there, and it's really Andy Reid's show? Maybe,
Hmm.
but look, he had a good year coaching the Bears, and it lasted like 1 year. So
Yeah.
you know,
You were saying earlier about like the profile of a good offensive coordinator and a future coach and all those
mhm,
things that you were rattling off. It's like
right,
Kellen Moore 2.0, right?
right.
So, and but here's the thing, man, I'm going to go negative for just a second. It took Kellen Moore a number of years to get to the point where he was very capable and well
Yeah,
thought of, and he got comfortable with it.
yeah.
And my concern, and I'm sure I think we're gonna talk about this more later, is is our window is it close to open or is it close to close, if you will?
Mhm.
And you know, do we have time for this for him to develop and to take this team to a Super Bowl, quite frankly. And so, we took the swing. I don't think we settled by any stretch. I thought we were
Mhm.
going to have to settle, to your point. And, here we go.
Yeah. So that's one side of the coin. And I mean, look, I guess the bottom line is it's sort of like a let's wait and see.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's a good chance that we're going to see something different this year because he does come from the McVay tree, the LaFleur tree, the Shanahan tree. And because of that, I think we're going to see some different offense this year, something
We're
that
going to see
maybe
motion.
flows.
We're actually going to see some motion
Yeah,
this year, something like that.
yeah, and things flow. We talked a little bit before about how a play sets up a next play. You
Hmm.
know, so I'm looking forward to it. The thing that I find to be actually sort of like this is just for some reason this is just in the back of my head. You know what I mean? It's like let's say that the Eagles have a good year offensively last year. Next year. Let's say next year the Eagles have a good year offensively. Okay,
Hmm.
Sean Mannion really shows us something. And the defense, maybe becomes more middle tier, and we sort of end up at the same place, and we lose a first playoff game. Could that be the precipice to Sean Mannion actually becoming our head coach?
At 34 years old.
Well, because here's the thing. I mean, the bottom line is like guys are being plucked this early.
Yeah.
Or even look at the Ravens. They signed that I think it's Declan Doyle as their OC, and he's
Hmm.
29. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
people love the idea of owners. I'm talking about. I'm going to show everybody that I found the next McVay at 33. You know what I mean?
Well, but he's done it, right, Lori? And that's the thing that, going back to my point, is
Yeah.
he's been on the money for head
Hmm.
coaches since he's owned the team.
Right.
So I trust in him and I trust in Howie, and um, I hope that Sirianni doesn't get in his own way and he lets the kid cook and uh and lets it rip a little bit. It's just the conservative offense, for good reason, starts with Sirianni. You don't turn the ball over, you'll win. But I don't know if that continues to win you Super Bowls. I'd rather take the shackles off and let it rip.
Amy May chimes in. She says, "I think it's a good hire. Give him a chance."
I agree.
Amy.
Okay, Amy. I'm tracking. I'm with you.
Absolutely. Now, here's the next thing I want to put up here. Vic Fangio. Have you been following this story here, Rube?
I have.
What the hell's going on with this guy? I mean, look, it seems like, I mean, the latest is that he'll be back, right?
Mhm.
But what's he doing? What's he doing with this? I'm thinking about retiring. Like, you can't come up with this. I'm thinking about retiring when every single defensive coordinator has already been hired. I mean,
hey, has McDermott been hired, by the way?
No, McDermott says he wants to take a year off.
Okay.
But he hasn't been hired. Then you also have the potential of Jim Schwartz is out there.
Yeah, because he's pissed at Cleveland.
Right.
Yeah.
He's acting like a baby, and
Yeah.
did you hear what that Todd Monken said about him?
No, what did he say?
Dude, he's definitely not going to be back in Cleveland. They asked him on his press conference, and he's like, look, he's like, one of the reasons why I took this job was because of how good the defense is. But when I was an offensive coordinator, I was game planning for how are we going to chip Myles Garrett, not how are we going to chip Jim Schwartz.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair. That's an interesting tidbit.
Right.
Listen, I don't know why Fangio is pulling this stuff. He did the same thing last year, if you remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think it's a money or a contract thing. Maybe it's just an ego thing that says, hey, I want everyone to recognize how great I am and beg me to come back. And if for some reason it doesn't work out next year, I can just ride off into the sunset. I don't know why he does it. I can't get inside of his head, but either you're in or you're not. And this, don't let this linger, and let's move on. So,
well, and here's the thing, Ruby. I mean, you have to admit, I mean, the defense is by far and away the strength of our team.
Oh, 100%.
And he is the commander of it. I mean, 100%. If he's not here next year, I mean, that's like a hit you can't necessarily recover from. I mean, I think anyway.
Listen, it's not that I don't want it's not that I don't want him back. I want him back 100%, 200%. Why he's kind of hinting at retirement and playing this game at the end of every year, I don't know. I'm not inside his head. If it's not money, I don't know. Then it's ego. Or if
here's the question that kind of comes with it, though.
Okay.
Fangio strikes me as the kind of guy who's like a no nonsense, no BS kind of guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, are the Eagles in somewhat of a bit of a state of dysfunction? Like think about it this way. They've got AJ Brown quit on the team.
Yeah.
They couldn't rectify that. They've got they brought in two guys who decided to retire a week after we brought them in this year. We like for all we know, maybe Fangio's like, I need Nakobe Dean back, and Howie's like, I can't bring him back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he sees what happens with the OC. Now, I like our OC, and I thought our process was fine, but there's also a lot of people are going to tell you that people didn't see it as a desirable position, right? So I think it's a legitimate question. Like, are the Eagles sort of getting to this point now where, they had their success and now everybody's in it for me, and it's not so much team anymore. And we're a little bit of a dysfunctional mess, also including Sirianni in the scheme of things. Like, in 2023 and in 2025, we were kind of, we took a slide, and he really was never able to fix it.
Yeah.
So, what's your thought about that?
There's where there's smoke, there's fire. Everything you say is true, with the exception of, I don't know if it's everybody is out for themselves. I certainly think AJ is. There will be turnover on the offense, and it could just be that Fangio's just tired of the Sirianni game and doesn't think he has it, or I know you don't like to hear this, or he doesn't believe that Hurts can carry the team. And we've spoken, I've been pretty consistent in my concern around Hurts carrying the team on his arm, as opposed to us being a dominant offensive line with a hell of a running game. So maybe he sees it as, why am I going to burn another year of my life with all of these question marks around the team? To your question of, is it dysfunctional?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the defense at all. The
Mhm.
offense is a train wreck, and we're likely gonna lose AJ Brown. We're gonna lose Goddard. Dotson, we're not gonna re-sign. I don't know what we've got at center with Juergens and his back issues. You're gonna lose Lane Johnson. It's a lot to recover from, and maybe he's thinking, let's see what the front office
Right.
does, and then I'll make my
Right.
decision. But
And then also,
I worry.
yeah, and then also too, keep in mind, I heard a clip today played, way back when the Eagles signed Adoree Jackson. They asked him, "What do you think about Adoree Jackson?" And his response to that was just like, I don't know. I mean, I don't sign these guys. I mean, I haven't really watched much tape on Adoree Jackson. All I know is if Howie wants to sign him, he's going to sign him.
Yeah, and
So,
he's been with Adoree Jack. I know he's been with 3 or
right,
4 teams. So,
right, right, right. And but to me, that's like him almost saying like, I should be getting a little bit more respect here, or my opinion should matter. I think
and
that's
that
yeah,
goes with the ego thing that I was saying earlier. Maybe
right,
it's just an ego thing. I want the world to beg me to come back, and then I'll be the hero riding in saying, "All right, I'm
right,
coming back,"
right,
and all will be well with the world, and his ego will be appeased.
yeah.
So, but listen,
So
if he doesn't, I'd love to have. If he doesn't, I'd love to have Schwartz back. I think he did a great job when he was here
yeah.
the first time.
Now,
Um,
here's an interesting question though. So would you rather have 1 year of Fangio, then he retires, and then who knows comes next, or a 4 years guaranteed of Jim Schwartz?
I think I'd rather have 4 years guaranteed, but I don't think there's any such thing as that, to be honest with you. Um, so it's a tough question, right? Schwartz
Yeah.
obviously wants another head coaching job. At some point, that may come to fruition when you stop hiring 22-year-olds to be your head coach. The other
Right.
thing about having Schwartz here, as opposed to a Fangio, is I think Schwartz was perhaps a bit of a more successful head coach than Fangio was.
Hmm.
So if something does go south with Sirianni, which I'm not asking for that, I mean,
Right.
but if it does, he's here. So I'd rather have
Right.
that consistency, because guess what? Our defense is young. We're about to sign our 2 interior defensive linemen. We've got our 2 big defensive backs. We've got
Hmm.
Bond and Jahad Campbell. The defense is stacked. Why wouldn't you want to
Yeah.
coach this defense? So I would think, unlike
Right.
the offense,
Right.
we would have people knocking down our doors trying to coach this defense. So,
Yeah.
um, but I'd
So
like it to be for more than 1 year.
yeah, yeah. So to last thing on the Birds. So
Hmm.
are the Birds closer to a return to the Super Bowl, or are they closer to out of the playoffs in a transition year?
Hmm.
That's a long sigh there.
Well, I've been taught to not use ums and uhs when I'm speaking, and
That's
sometimes
good. That's good. It's working.
sometimes it's sometimes it's better to think before you speak.
It is true.
And
I'm not. Yeah.
and I in my heart of hearts and my gut, I don't think we're closer to the Super Bowl than we are to a better draft pick. And the reason is because of the offense. I have no faith that our offense. Again, listen, the difference between the down year, the Super Bowl year, and the down year was Saquon and the offensive line. You're
Hmm.
not going to get a year like that again. And I don't believe, like I've said, and I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, that um, we have the right makeup in order the right quarterback to make up for other indeficiencies or deficiencies on our offense. Right, the offensive line's getting old. We're going to have retirement. You don't know if Goddard's going to be back. There's so many uncertainties, and with those uncertainties, I tend to believe that our window is closing rather than staying open.
Fair enough. I mean, I would agree with you in that I do think we're closer to a transition year than a return to a Super Bowl. Um, I do think that our quarterback can get the job done, but I also think he's only going to get that job done if he runs. I mean, that's what makes him special. When he runs, he becomes special and he extends drives and things of that sort. So they've got to let him do that and stop worrying about injury. Obviously, you want to still try to go out of bounds when you can, slide, all that kind of stuff. But he's got to run a lot more than he did this year. I don't think that worked. Um, and yeah, I mean, look, Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson were probably the two most disappointing players on the Eagles this year. And they were fighting through injuries, yes, but hey, we got to see if they can get healthy because if they can't get healthy and we can't run the ball, um, this is going to take some time. The nice thing about the NFL, though, is you can turn it around pretty quickly. You make the right free agent signings, you make the right um, draft picks, you choose the right coordinators. So I'm saying I think we're closer to maybe next year being a transition year, but it wouldn't surprise me if we're right back in the mix the very next year.
so,
That's kind of
so you're waffling.
yeah.
Got it.
No, I'm not waffling. So anyway, we do have a big game coming up this week, the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold, the Redemption Tour, versus Drake May. Is he the real deal, or is he just going to be too nervous in his first big game? Um, so we shall see. So we got to make some predictions. So Rube, we'll start with you. I mean, how you seeing this Super Bowl playing out?
I think Seattle's playing the best football of anyone in the NFL, and obviously that's why they're here. And they've kind of cruised to um, the Super Bowl. I think if Sam Darnold is able to play consistent, manage the game, continue to have a high percentage on his completions, I don't even think it's going to be close. I think Seattle wins going away. The only thing that might hurt Seattle is that they lost their backup running back in Charbonnet, and so if Kenneth Walker needs a blow or he gets injured, that could be a problem. But listen, their defense. I believe in their defense. Jackson Smith and Jigba is the real deal. Uh, they seem to be rolling. So I would take Seattle, and I'm going to call it um, 31-17.
Okay, all right.
Two touchdown win.
Well, I like you. I like Seattle as well. I do think it's going to be closer than people think. I think that Vrabel's going to have these guys ready to play, and their defense has been playing pretty well in the postseason too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really think that it's going to come down to the quarterbacks, and I just feel that look, last year Darnold had his first, her first playoff game, and he really was horrible. But this year, he's been very good in the playoffs. He really kind of like shook that off and played within himself, and he's been, outstanding in the playoffs. When I look at Drake May, I'm kind of looking at a guy who it seems like he hasn't made a big mistake to lose a game, but he's also not balling out like a guy who's, going to probably be the runner up to MVP either. Um, I just sort of feel like there's a better chance that Sam Darnold is going to be um, calm and steady, and on the flip side, Drake May might press a little bit. I could see the interceptions coming off of Drake May's shoulder and not as much off Sam Darnold's. And I think that'll make the difference in the game. But I do think it's going to be close. I mean, I think it's going to be maybe like a 31-27 type game,
Okay.
where we really won't know who's going to win until the fourth quarter.
I hope it is, right?
Yeah,
A close Super Bowl is a win for everybody. Do you find yourself, obviously with the Eagles not in it this year, it's not nearly as exciting.
right.
But do you almost, have you ever not watched a Super Bowl? Have you ever been like, I just not interested?
I don't know. I don't know that I've ever not watched one. I may have sort of like barely watched a Super Bowl or two.
Yeah.
Like the ones that are really tough to watch are the ones where you feel like the Eagles should be in the Super Bowl and they're not. Like for example, like I don't know that I watched the Super Bowl when the Bucks beat the Eagles in that 2001 game that was just a travesty. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
like I couldn't. I don't know if I mean, I remember seeing maybe a glimpse of it, but that's what's really hard. Or like after we lose to the Panthers in the third consecutive championship game. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, I get it.
so, but yeah, I mean, usually I'm always watching just because A, I love the sport, and B, all the stuff like, the halftime show, the commercials, all
Yeah.
the other stuff that kind of comes with it.
Yeah,
How
it's
about
an event.
yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, it's an event. I'm right there with you. And the good, we'll be on our annual ski trip this year, and actually one of the guys that we go with is from Walla Walla, Washington. Shout out to Joe Kent. So he's a big Huskies fan in UW, and he's a big
Oh, oh,
Hawks fan. So
okay, okay.
it's always fun when you got someone who's got a dog in the hunt. Now, the good news for guys like you and I is that, 3 of the past however many years, I'm always with this group of guys and watching Super Bowls. So the Dallas
Yeah,
Cowboy fans just hate me. I think they're just relieved that the Eagles aren't in it.
I
But
hear you.
I will still wear my Dawkins jersey on the mountain though.
All right, I like it. I like it.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's experience just a 28 seconds of joy here. Okay.
Hit it.
Here we go.
That basket. Rube ready inbound now. And it comes to Embiid. Scoops it to Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey! Count it! And the foul! That's it! Well, all of us Sixers fans have seen this play time and time again.
Maxey with a game winner.
Did you see after that though? Like stupid him. I didn't see the end of the game.
Yeah.
But apparently Maxey got. I don't know if it was that particular free throw or if it
that
was
was
after
it.
that.
Yeah,
Was
that
it
was
that? And Embiid thought he should have made it, and
Right.
someone else said he should have missed it, and no one
Right.
understood what Nick Nurse wanted to do. But goodness
Right.
gracious, Embiid, just enjoy it, damn it.
I know.
Find some joy.
So,
A great man named Grand Schwalbini once said, "Why don't you just find a little joy in it?"
yeah, find a little joy in it. So, look, hey, Sixers are fun. I think they're what, 28 and 21 now.
28 and 21. Yeah.
They're playing some good ball now. Of course, the Sixers, they have to be the Sixers at the same time. Paul George story broke this past weekend, where he will be suspended 25 games for violation of the league's substance abuse policy. Now, Paul says it has to do with mental health. And look, if he's having problems with mental health, we do wish him well. At the same time, boy, it kind of seems like maybe that's an excuse simply because, well, you could have named the medication and then we all would have said, hey, that's not right. You should be able to take that. Right. So
he knows what's going into his body.
Right.
And it's unacceptable, right? Yes, with the caveat, if he is struggling mentally, obviously we want him to be well for himself and his family and those who he loves. Now, that being said, what a waste of money. And I knew this was going to be a waste of money from the freaking minute we said, you know what, we've got gazillions of dollars, we got to go spend it on a superstar. And one of the questions I'm going to ask you later in our buy or sell segment is going to be about this. But jeepers creepers, man, come on, really? Who gets suspended in the NBA? No one gets suspended in the NBA.
I know, it's ridiculous. I mean, probably half the league is on marijuana. You know what I mean?
On something, yeah.
But anyway, and the shame of it though was he was actually playing really well. He had that like 32-point game where he had 9 3-pointers.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. If he gets hot, he'll be streaky.
Right, and the other thing too is like he is actually really good at like defending the other team's best player, like on the last shot. He's constantly blocking shots in situations like that. But look, he'll be back for the playoffs. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. He won't get hurt for 25 games.
Yeah, he may sleep funny and hurt his back. Who knows?
Right.
But it's just unacceptable. You're 100. You make a gazillion dollars, and these guys know exactly what's going into their body. And nobody, I don't remember anybody in the NBA getting suspended for performance enhancing drugs or whatever it is. It's unacceptable. I'm sorry, it's unacceptable.
It is ridiculous. Now, what do you make of Joel Embiid? Looks like he's found the fountain of youth. What's going on there?
I'm just waiting for Joel to be a Joel again. To your point about the Sixers are going to be the Sixers. Listen, if given the opportunity to go get a king's ransom for him, as we spoke about, earlier in the season,
right?
I think I would do it, Schwalby. I think I would do it.
I would definitely do it. Because look, here's the bottom line. I mean, we're
not going to win the title. We're not going to win the title this year.
No, we're not. And the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So the chances are he's gonna, crack again. So the bottom line is, if somebody's willing to take him now on the idea that maybe they can get good Joel Embiid for a half a season and maybe win a title with him, and we're gonna get like 3 first-round picks and like a solid player, I think you have to do it.
I do. I agree. We've seen the movie so many times. I mean, listen, the game the other night. Were you watching the game last night against the Clippers?
No,
he goes awkwardly to the basket and he fell pretty hard over another guy. I'm like, oh, here we go. Every time he doesn't shoot a 3 and drives to the basket to get fouled, it's over. I got an orbital bone. I got a hammy. I got a knee. I bruised my thumb. It's time. It's time to make a change. It's time for the process to be over. It's time to build around the backcourt. And I'm fine with it. And we'll never win. I'll say it again. I say it every season. We're never going to win a title with Embiid. So why not go get a king's ransom for him and try a different approach?
Now, by the way, the trade deadline is tomorrow. Do you see the Sixers making any moves of significance? And B, will the Greek Freak be moved?
So everything that I'm reading is if the Sixers are going to make a move, they're going to try to get room under the luxury tax, and do some around the edge kind of build the bottom of the roster type of things. Or if you can trade a Quentin Grimes and get a D&3 wing that can consistently more shoot the three, go get it. The other thing that I'm hearing is they'll probably release Drummond to get underneath the luxury tax, whatever it is. So they're going to have to go get another center. And they talked about the guy from Memphis. He's like a Mark Eaton lookalike, big 7-footer with a beard, who's actually playing good ball this year. So I don't think we're going to see a blockbuster trade on the Sixers. And listen, as far as the question about Giannis, I don't care. I really don't. I wouldn't want to give up a lot to get him on the Sixers, to be honest with you, because he's been hurt the whole year. And I would rather go young than do another James Harden, Paul George, blah blah blah, take a swing for the fences. I think we should have learned our lesson by now that we need to build the team around and go youth. So I don't care where he goes or if he gets traded or not, to be honest with you.
All right, I think I'm in complete agreement with you. Now, little update: Flyers are playing the Capitals at home tonight. They have a 1-0 lead with 5 minutes to go in the first. A 19th goal from Owen Tippett, assisted by Travis Sanheim and Matvei Michkov. So, but all I can say about the Flyers and the Phillies right now, we're going to skip them this week because you've got to earn your time on the Philadelphia Sports Port.
You got to earn your airtime.
You do. So do something, Dombrowski. Do something, Danny Briere. We're waiting. Now we are coming to a part of the show that I like to call buy or sell. You like that little graphic there, Rick?
I like it. Look at you, man. I'll tell you what. You're showing me something tonight.
Yeah, so you are in charge, Rube. Take the floor.
Okay. All right. So we do this usually around the beginning of every month because it gives us a good opportunity to test the Grand Schwalbini's Grand Schwalbini skills. So we're going to play a little game called Buy and Sell. I've got 4 questions and a bonus question for the Grand Schwalbini. I failed in January to write down the responses, so this time I'm ready on my computer. Ready, my Dell computer, for everybody, for us to notate our answers. So with that being said, here we go. And if we've got time later, we can go back to the January questions to see how we did. So by the end of February 2026, despite losing Paul George for 25 games, the 76ers will remain in the top 6 in the East. Buy or sell?
I'm buying. There's a lot of joy on that court right now.
Schwab's buying. You know what else? Rube is buying.
Yeah.
Rube's buying.
They're having fun out there.
76ers fan. It was a pleasure to watch them play last night and to beat the hell out of James Harden and those. But I'll tell you what, Kawhi Leonard is still so good. It's unbelievable, man. He just never declines unless he's hurt. All right. So we are both buying.
By the way, James Harden is now asking for a trade from the Clippers.
Talk about James Harden being James Harden.
Right.
All right, I'll leave it alone. All right, next question. Vic Fangio, buy or sell? Vic Fangio will not retire. Buy or sell?
I'm gonna buy. I think he'll be back. I feel like he's sort of a classy guy. I can't see him, leaving the Eagles out there with scraps. So I think he'll be back.
Yeah, I'll agree. I think this is an ego theater, and we move on. Number 3, the Flyers, your Philadelphia Flyers, our Philadelphia Flyers,
Mm.
will be 4th or higher in the Metropolitan Division by the end of February.
Mm.
Currently, I think they're 5th
where
or
are they
6th.
now?
I think they're 5th or 6th.
Well, so
They are 1,
if
2,
you're
3,
if
4, 5.
you're
They're 6th. They're ahead of Jersey and the Rangers. They're tied with Jersey and ahead of the Rangers. Behind Columbus, behind Washington, the Islanders. So they're at 58 points right now. Jersey's at 58. The Rangers are at 50. In order to get up to the 5th position, Columbus is at 61. In order to get up to the 4th position, Washington's at 63. So what we're saying is they got to catch Columbus and Washington by the end of the month, and they're starting behind 3 and 5 points respectively. So there you go.
It wouldn't surprise me if they do, but absolutely nothing is giving me confidence in the Flyers right now. So I'm going to sell that.
Rube will sell as well. Okay. How about a little Phillies buy or sell? Spring training's coming.
Yep.
The Phillies will experience a season-ending injury to a key player by the end of February. Buy or sell.
That's a really negative.
It is.
That's horribly negative.
If you choose to pass on it, I understand, but it's on the table.
I'm gonna sell that. There's not a lot of guys who really get hurt in spring training, so I'm gonna sell that.
I'm gonna buy it just because I don't believe in the mojo that Dombrowski has brought us this year, and I'm buying it. All right. I really wanted to get to this question. It's the bonus question.
A bonus.
Grand Schwalbini, where'd you go to college?
Drexel University.
All right. Bonus question. We'll see how close you're following the Explorers. Drexel University.
They're not the Explorers. They're the Drexel Dragons.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Dragons. Who are the Explorers?
Yeah.
The LaSalle's the Explorers. Sorry. The Drexel Dragons. All right. You see how close I follow.
Yeah.
Drexel University's men's basketball leading scorer is a guy named Shane Blakeney. Shane Blakeney averages 13.3 a game.
Okay.
Buy or sell. During the month of February, Shane Blakeney is going to average 15 points per game or higher. Buy or sell, Drexel Dragon.
I'm selling.
You're selling. You don't believe in Shane.
No, I don't.
Rube's buying. I'm buying.
You believe in him.
I believe in your Dragons. Now that I know they're called the Dragons again. So there you go. That is this week's buy or sell. Now, if we've got a second, I want to go back to January just to see how we did.
Okay.
The first question in January was the Eagles will punch their ticket to their 4th Super Bowl appearance in the last 8 years. I believe we both said no. So we both said sell.
Okay.
So we got that right. Number 2 was the Flyers in their 14 games of January will have a winning record, including OT. I think we split on that one. I think I might have said buy and you might have said sell.
Yep, I believe so.
Clearly we the sell was the right thing. And then Trevor Zegras will remain his point per game performance, which I don't believe he has. As a matter of fact, I think Konechny is ahead of him, is just right there.
Yeah.
So I think you bought that. I think we both bought it.
Yeah.
We were both very enthusiastic early in January about the Flyers.
Yes.
And boy, how things have changed.
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, by the end of January, the Sixers will occupy a top 6 position in the Eastern Conference. I said sell. I think you said buy. So I think you got that one right.
Yeah.
Number 4, the Phillies will have departed with longtime catcher JT Realmuto. I think you said sell, and I think I said buy. So I think you got that one right. And the bonus question, the Ohio State Buckeyes will have won back-to-back natties. The Grand Schwalbini bought it.
Yeah.
Rube bought it as well. We were both wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So I
hopefully we
think
do
I had
better.
more. I think I had more right than you, though, didn't I?
You did 100%.
Yeah,
You were
yeah,
the Grand Schwalbini lived up to his name.
yep,
Now we've got this month in writing. I'm
yeah.
going to send it to myself so I don't lose it, and we will
Nice.
check back at the beginning of March, and that is what we call buy or sell.
All right, all right. Well, what we've got on tap right now is our segment that we all love. It is um, what we are watching. And what does this mean here? Well, especially now when it's downtime for sports, we realize that you got to turn to some other things, right? You got to, get out those streaming services. Hit Hulu, hit Netflix, hit Peacock, hit Paramount Plus, hit Amazon Prime, hit Netflix. I don't
That's
know
a
if I'm
lot of hit.
repeating.
That's a lot of hitting.
It's a lot. It's a lot of hitting, and you know what? It's too much. Too much, Rick.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot. And what we're going to do for you is we're going to make it so much easier. All you got to do is tune into the Sports Porch, guys. We're going to give you a 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. We're going to let you know whether it is a lock, you're going to love it, or whether you just need to pass it on, right? And we're going to give you all that time back in your life, all that time that you don't have to spend like watching trailers and all this kind of stuff, right? Half the time you watch the trailer too, it's like you already feel like you saw the whole show too, right?
Yeah.
So,
100%.
who wants to do that? So
Time is a
that's what
valuable commodity, and we're going to
so
save
that's
some for you.
so that's what we're going to do. And before we get started, I'm just a little curious, Rob, based off of last week's show, have you and your lovely wife Lemmer, have you by any chance started Medici?
We did. We
Yeah.
started Medici.
Mm-hmm.
We watched the first episode and haven't watched more. I don't think it's because we don't like it. It's because we got 3 other shows going right now
Oh,
and
okay.
haven't had a lot of time to watch TV this week. But my
Uh-huh.
guess is that this weekend there will be some Medici watching.
All right.
My initial feeling was, did Schwab really love this? Because I'm not loving it. I'm not loving it yet. It was it was a slam dunk. It was a
It
guaranteed lock.
well, it is, but you do got to give it a couple episodes. You
Yes.
really do.
So I've
You
only
really
given
do.
it one
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
My son, who's a big what's the show that everyone, Game of Thrones,
Game of
said,
Thrones.
oh, that's the guy who played the son,
Right.
in Game of Thrones. I guess the guy
Yeah.
who was the heir to the to Dustin
Right.
Hoffman, which
Right.
I didn't see that either. I don't think that was the best
Well,
casting.
I have to say I did say that. I don't know if you
You
remember me
did.
saying that.
You
But
did. Yeah.
that was the one really weird casting. It was
Yeah,
very bizarre.
it was strange.
But the
So,
good news is he's not really in it very much.
no, no.
And there is also too, like in seasons 2 and 3, one of the bad guys from the other banking family. He's one of the big bad guys in Game of Thrones as well.
Okay. And I only
Yeah,
watched probably the first season of Game of Thrones. I may be the only
yeah.
guy on earth, that
No,
hasn't watched it.
honestly, I didn't like it. I gave it like 4, maybe like 3-4 episodes, and I found it like confusing, and
Yeah.
I just wasn't into it.
Okay, so we agree.
Yeah.
But I knew you were going to ask, and yes, we have tried it, and we will give it a couple more tries.
All right. So Rube, you have watched my favorite Jason Statham, Shelter. Tell me about it.
Can you give everyone your Jason Statham imitation first?
I don't even remember what it was.
Rule number 1: never open the package.
Rule number 1: never open the package.
Dude, that was great. That was great. All right, so Lemmer and I, we ventured out of the house. We went to the movie theater this weekend.
To the movies. All right.
We did, which is a rare occasion. but I don't know if in Pittsburgh they have these, but there's a bunch of theaters where you can go and have dinner. So the place we went to is called Flick's Brew House. There's another one called
Mhm.
Alamo Draft House, and you get beer
Mhm.
and dinner and popcorn or whatever it is that you want.
Mhm.
They bring it to you.
Right.
And Lemmer and Rube said, you know what? We haven't had a date night in a while,
Yeah.
so let's pick a movie. And I gave the choice of the movie. I deferred to my lovely bride, Leslie Rubenstein, otherwise known as Lemmer.
Mhm.
And I was pushing for the one with Rachel McAdams where they're on the plane crashes and
Guess what, Rube? That's
what?
going to be my review.
Oh, good. All right, I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Leslie Rubenstein, who is also a humongous Jason Statham fan, which how can you not love being married to a woman who
That's
loves
right.
action flicks?
That's right.
She picked this movie called Shelter with Jason Statham. Um, the premise of the movie is that Statham is an ex MI6 assassin. Imagine that.
Right. Right.
Um, and he decides he's going to go live off the grid in an old lighthouse.
Why
Uh,
not? Why not?
why not? Right? Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
And long story short, he ends up having to save a young girl who he didn't want to have anything to do with the people that would bring him his supplies, but uh, the boat capsizes, the uncle dies, and now this girl who has nothing, now has to be cared for by Jason Statham. And
Mm.
in the background, there's some old MI6 shenanigans going on where they essentially are going after him for stuff he never should have done or for disobeying orders. And
Mhm.
so the film is there's obviously a lot of Statham uh, karate and martial arts and action.
Mhm.
Um, and I found it to be but here's what I would tell you. Love Statham, but I found it to be very predictable, right? There's
Yeah.
gonna be some action scenes. He's gonna not want to get involved, like keep me out of this. But he
Mhm.
ends up, taking
Getting
good care of this
involved.
little girl, getting involved.
Mhm.
And the plot was pretty predictable. And so listen,
I said, don't bother the girl.
don't bother that girl. That's amazing. I hope Lemmer is watching out there somewhere. Um, so if I'm being God's honest truth, and God's honest truth is, I'd probably give it 2 thumbs down. Um,
Ooh,
I
ooh,
wouldn't.
ooh. Well,
I think it's probably a good, watch it on when it comes to one of the streaming services.
right,
But
right,
to pay
right.
movie theater price for it, and by the way, the theater was half empty. Um,
Uh,
we probably could have waited, but you know what? It was a fun night out with Lemmer. We enjoyed it.
yeah.
It was mindless entertainment. We still love Statham, but I think I'd save my money and wait for it to come out on streaming.
All right. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Although I also have kind of like another sort of mindset, which is because I'm gathering this.
Yes.
You were entertained by it. Am I
I
right?
was I was entertained. I
Right.
wasn't looking at my watch.
Right.
I
Right.
just I just thought it was, hey, if you know what you
Yeah.
get, you should know
Right.
what you get when you go see a
Right.
Statham movie. And you got what you kind of expected, but it didn't blow me away and want to tell all the fine folks on the sports porch to run out and see it either.
I gotcha. But in my mind,
Yes.
action never fails.
Well, then you should go see it. I think you would enjoy
Yeah,
it. There's plenty of action.
I will. I will. Now I went and saw Send Help with Rachel McAdams. It was a date night for Mark and his lovely lady Amy May.
Okay.
And
Do tell.
yeah, and
What you eat? What did you eat? Did you go to dinner first?
well, it wasn't really a date night. It was a date matinee.
Oh, matinee. Yeah,
Matinee.
Ruben Lemmer don't do matinees.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had the popcorn with butter.
Okay.
And Amy had the snow caps.
Oh,
And
I love snow caps.
after the movie, We took a walk around the mall to get some steps in.
They still have malls there. Okay,
They
got it. Yeah.
still well this mall has like no stores, but they still have a mall. And believe it or not, the Macy's is going to shut down, so everything's 50% off. So we made a little shot in there, little Macy's shopping. Got a
Okay.
couple items,
Did you get it?
half
Did you
off.
get it? Did you get a new coffee maker or something like that?
No, we didn't even go to the home area. We just kind of stayed in men's and women's.
Okay.
But I digress.
We sure do.
So send help. I'll tell you what, it was wilder than I thought. It was and I would say in a good way. I'd give it a 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
But I can certainly understand why some folks might not give it a 2 thumbs up. It just kind of all depends on, do you like I wouldn't really call it a comedy at all, but it was dark. It was
Yeah.
dark, right?
Mhm.
And so basically it's just a story like, this Rachel McAdams, she's working at, some business, some firm. The guy who owns the business, an elderly guy, she was kind of like his go-to for numbers. He had promised her a promotion to vice president. He dies. So then these kind of like the rich snobby son, takes over the company. And he's told that she was expected to be advanced to vice president, and he's just like, no, she disgusts me. Because like they were making like she's eating tuna fish and get stuff on her face, and like it's actually you know what, like they should actually consider giving like a makeup award, because it must be really hard to make Rachel McAdams look ugly, and they did a phenomenal job of
Okay. All right.
that.
That is hard to do.
Yeah. So anyway, basically, the kind of thing. What's kind of funny about it is, like she wanted to get on the show Survivor. So, the guys in the office were looking at a tape of her trying out for Survivor, and they're like laughing their asses off.
They're just
and
frat
then
bro. They're just frat bros.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, totally,
Yeah.
and that's actually 100% accurate. And so, he's going to basically promote his frat bro, who knows nothing, right?
Okay. Now
And so
don't give too much away now.
I'm not giving too much away. So they're going to I think they're going to like Bangkok or something for this business deal, and he realizes that he actually does need her on the trip, because of the numbers. And so plane crash, 2 survivors. It's Rachel McAdams and the young frat boy boss.
Yeah.
And and so obviously, like, he's a jerk. He basically saying things. This is like all on like the coming attractions. Like he's just like, remember, you work for me, and she's like, not anymore.
Not here. I don't. Yeah.
Right. And so, and I'll tell you what. It was interesting because it took some really dark turns that I really didn't see coming.
Okay. That's what I expected. I was expecting that it was going to get really dark on the island, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, so it does. It gets really dark on the island. And for that reason, I really enjoyed it. And Amy really liked it a lot too.
Okay. All right.
But and it was weird because Amy sort of was like, well, that was kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting it to get really dark on the island. I was like, I didn't expect it to be that dark. I mean,
all right. Don't say anything else. Don't say anything else.
I won't say anything else, but it's dark, man. It's really dark.
Okay.
So yeah, good stuff. I recommend it. And that will be our show for this evening. I want to say thank you again for everybody watching. If you're watching on X, remember at Philly Porch, follow us. If you're on YouTube, at Philadelphia Sports Porch, hit that subscribe button. You can catch the podcast later this evening or tomorrow on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcasts. For Rube, I am the Grand Schwalbini. And thank you very much. We will be off next week as there are some things to attend to as we set the show for the upcoming year. And we will see you in 2 weeks. So
See y'all.
peace out. All right.